no time for dancing when we're going to talk about compliance. So yeah. Okay. So who understands that Isagenix is a legacy company? Who really understands that? Could you imagine if you were building this and next year it wasn't here anymore? So we're talking about a legacy company. A legacy company is when we talk about something that's going to be here for my kids and their kids and so on. And we really have to really understand what the word legacy means and how special that word really is. And that is why compliance is so important. And that is why you are all such a huge part of that. So when Isagenix says a legacy company, that doesn't just mean Eric is, going to take the reins of the company. That's not all it means. That's one part of it, which is really exciting and really special. But another part of it means that it's a company that is going to stand the test of time. It's a company that is going to be here for you to pass on. Does everybody understand that your business center is willable? Did you know that? Is that not just crazy? Your business center is willable. But it's willable as long as we all band together and ensure our company remains a legacy company forever and ever and ever, right? But it takes all of us. And this is a pretty serious topic, but it's also a really exciting topic because legacy is pretty exciting. The fact that I know, when I think about my children, what they're going to have, and their children, what they're going to have, and your children, what they're going to have, and those children's children, what they're going to have, is so exciting. It's so exciting, but we still have to be responsible and understand that it's all of our responsibility. Does that make sense? So we can't just rely on Isagenix Corporate to keep our company a legacy company. We can't just rely on Eric to keep our company a legacy company. We can't just rely on our compliance team in corporate to keep our company a legacy company. Or our research and development staff who are making our products, or our sales team, our vice presidents, our CEO. We can't just rely on them. Actually, we are the most important people when it comes to keeping our company a legacy company. I've got my Invisalign, and it makes me talk funny. It's just before we go on. My teeth were on my first vision board. And I had like these crossed over teeth at the front, and I put my teeth on there, and I was like, I don't know, I'm never getting braces, but I'm getting my teeth done when I start to earn some money in Isagenix, and now they're almost done. So those vision boards, I've had 3, and every single thing on them have all come true, so I hope you're doing them. I just had this big smile on my vision board, like these teeth, and now I've got Invisalign. It's so cool. But I want to help you understand compliance. Not be freaked out about it, but just understand it. Because it's my most favorite thing to talk about, purely because it's the most exciting thing, the word legacy. So it's exciting, but there's a responsibility. And every single person who is an Isagenix associate has such a privilege. It's such a privilege to be partnered with a company of such intelligent infrastructure and such an enormous vision and such integrity. But with that privilege comes a huge responsibility, and one that we all have to really understand. It doesn't matter if you're an associate, if you're just a product lover, or if you're a product sharer, or if you're a business builder. It doesn't matter which category you fall into. You are responsible. So there's a tool. Go back. I just introduced a tool. Turn it off for a sec. A lot of people, who freaks out when they think, I don't really know how to explain compliance to my new people? Or, I don't want to drop it in there too soon. I just want them to have really good. Yeah, you do. Okay, I get it. Because not everybody is talking about compliance. And I get that it can be a dull thing sometimes. So, hey, you're having these great, results. And let me just tell you how to share your story and and it gets a little bit like, I don't want to pour water over their flame right now. So what, actually the Australian compliance team put together a video which is fun and exciting and helps you share compliance with your team. And what I do every week is I post it across about 7 groups. Every week it's posted. And it's not just posted so people can watch it if they feel like it. It's a crucial part of the enrollment process. It cannot be left out, this video. Compliance cannot be left out. And if we all take that responsibility, will you agree that we can definitely be a legacy company for long after we're gone? Yeah? Who could get excited about that? Some of you don't seem very excited about that. Okay, so I'm going to play the video and then I'm going to tell you where to find it.
guitar in my hands and the notes became alive as the sound caressed the air, and I kicked it up a notch as I strolled without a care, cause I'm going down the road to a brand new place, and I'll get there with a smile on my face. Yeah, so lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on, clap your hands and won't you sing along, and now let's take it up high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. Gotta keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning. Feel the music from your head to your toes to your shoes. Kick them off and take a deep breath and shake off the blues. This is a brand new day that you can pave the way, because everything is possible. Shout and say, hey, hey, I gotta go and on it. Keep on pushing up and on march and move along. And good things all around now that I can see. And they said it wouldn't happen to me. Yeah, yeah, so take your hands, throw them up, and put them up high. Clap it up and dance it out until you're ready to fly. Turn the music, turn it up just a little too loud. If you're alone, dance just like there's a crowd. And keep it going every day till the night. From when you first see the sun until the stars show the light. No, not a care in the world, not a word from me. I tell you, this is what it's like to be free. So lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on and clap your hands and won't you sing along. And now let's take it up high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. Gotta keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning. Yeah, lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on and clap your hands and won't you sing along. And now let's take it up high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. You gotta keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning. So lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on and clap your hands and won't you sing along. And now let's take it up high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. Gotta keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning. Yeah, lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on and clap your hands and won't you sing along. And now let's take it up high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. You gotta keep the fire.
Yeah. So I want you all, so that video is, again, you will see the ANZ, so it was because it was made for the Australian market, but would you agree that it's good for you as well? Yes. So I want you to, this is where to find it, on the Isagenix ANZ YouTube channel. There's a lot of good stuff there. You know, all the Australian Isagenix millionaires have their own story on there, and it's really real. Like, you can find so much goodness on that YouTube channel, so make sure you go and have a look there too. But it's called How to Protect Your Isagenix Business. So if you want to go to that YouTube channel and search How to Protect Your Isagenix Business, you'll find that video. And I ensure everyone's watched it. If I get on a welcome call, say, have you watched the compliance video? No, okay, I'm going to hop off the phone, you're going to watch the compliance video. Why wouldn't I? What's the point in going any further unless I've taken care of that? What's the point in coming to all these trainings? What's the point in busting your butt to build a business if we're going to let this slip? We've got to understand how really important that is. Cool? So you don't have to be a compliance Nazi like I sort of am on Facebook, but it's important. So if I see someone posting something on Facebook that's not compliant, I'll let them know, of course, because what we need to understand, and this is why one team is so important, is we're all part of the same company. If someone is being non-compliant on the other side of the world, is that going to affect your business and your family and your financial future? Yes. Just as if you're being non-compliant, it's going to affect me too. So this is why it's so important that we aren't these cops everywhere, but we do watch out and we help people out if we see something like, hey, you can't post your check on Facebook. You can't screenshot your commission and post it on Facebook. I'll let people know, take that down, hey, but not in a way that it's like, take it down, you're wrong. It is like, hey, I just want to help you out. It's part of the policies and procedures that we're not allowed to post that commission check. So I just want to invite you to take it down. And if you need any help, perhaps you haven't seen this video yet, or perhaps you need to talk to someone in compliance to learn how to share perhaps your income story compliantly. So what I want to begin with is, and just on that one team thing, I'm going to touch on one team a little bit later, but we have to all get that. If it's everyone's job, it's no one's job. So if it's everyone's job, compliance is no one's job. Does that make sense? We've all got to do our bit. And what do we all do affects each of us. That's where the one team thing is so important. We are one team. Yes, there are teams working individually to build your business. That's how it works, network marketing, right? You got to build business. But we all are one team. What we all do affects everyone across the country because we're all under the same umbrella of Isogenic. So it is so crucial that we understand how compliance fits in with that. So when you're doing a launch party or opportunity presentation or perhaps you do a Wellness Wednesday type event, some people tend to skim over this because they don't want to make it boring. They're like, this is just a disclaimer, so we don't say anything about diseases or anything anyway. So anyway, I lost 5 kilos in 0 days and I did no exercise. Just do it, right? We're all guilty of that. Can't do it. So we have to remember when there's a disclaimer in there, just keep it fun. And I always make it sound like so exciting. Like, guys, we know what happens when you put these products into your body. We know that our body is the miracle and that when we fill in the nutritional gaps and remove what is not required and provide our body with the balance that it needs, we know what happens. We know that we have energy for days and that we don't complain about the things anymore. Like, we know, but we have to be careful not to make any outrageous claims. Because if you started going on a healthy eating plan, you wouldn't go and make outrageous claims, right? That's what this is. It's food. It's not drugs. This is not drugs. So the very basic level of compliance is it does not diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Duh. Food doesn't do that. But people run around and say, this alleviated, this cured my pain, and this did all these things. And it's like, no, it didn't. Your body did that when you decided to make it balanced again. You wouldn't say, this apple just got rid of my IBS. You wouldn't. We have to understand what this is. And it will also make you sound a little bit less crazy to the people around you when you are accepting that this is food. It is great food. It is food that we would not have access to otherwise, because none of us are willing to go to the Himalayas and source this and source from all over and put it together in a system. We don't know how. So yes, it is incredible food. Yes, it is more synergistic than any of us could ever do, regardless of how grand you are at naturopathy and all that stuff. It is fabulous, but it is food. It's part of your lifestyle. So we have to remember to be real and cool when we're talking about it. Because otherwise people are going to say, yeah, it's a drug and you're weird, and that is probably a scam, right? That's because people are just talking about it. Like, people are just being weird. So let's all stop being weird. So don't skim over the disclaimers when you're doing a launch party or something, but make it fun. Play the video and just say, hey guys, this is food. Great things happen when you balance your body. So some tips that I want to give you, and I'm going to... there's actually a full thing, and I want you to write this down, isogenicscompliance.com. I want you all to commit to going there and bookmarking it and going there regularly. I want you to be all over this because you're a business owner. And if you are not all over the policies and procedures in your own business, that's a little bit irresponsible. So as a business owner, you need to be all over this. Yes, use the video so that you don't sound like a walking, talking piece of compliance, but understand what you can say and why. Understand how you can protect your business and everyone else's business and the company. So things like, there's a whole list of things there, like don't use the word pain. You can't use that word. People would think, why? Don't use the word organic. Because we don't have the label. Yes, our products are sourced as organically as possible, but we don't have the label on there, so why would we run around and say it? The products do the talking for us. And I want you all to get that with the organic thing, because some people say, well, why aren't they all sourced? They're as organic as they can possibly be, right? But we do not say our whole product line is organic. The coffee has the USDA label on it, right? I know myself, I eat all organic food. And I notice if something goes in my body and it's not organic. So I know how I feel when I have isogenics. I know how incredibly it's sourced. I know how well all the ingredients are put together. I know the quality of the products. I let the products do the talking for me. I don't have to say anything. So I want you all to understand that. We have something so good here that if you put it in your body and you let it transform your body, that's an important part of it. Some people put it in their body and they still eat crap and they still don't exercise and they don't look or feel like as different as they could be. So this is what you have to understand. If you are putting it in your body and letting your body do the talking for you, you don't have to sound crazy and make all these outrageous claims. Like Jesse, he just stands there. He doesn't have to do anything. Right? So I want you to understand that. And on the GMO, organic, all that stuff, like Jillian's team, Sook's team that Jillian used to be in, you can find all of those articles on isogenicshealth.net. I'm always searching them. The no compromise policy. How does Isogenics feel about GMOs? I find all of those articles and I send them off to people who have questions about any of that stuff because it's all there. Isogenics is fully transparent about everything, why we've done everything, and you'll be so impressed when you go and read it. So make sure you go and read all of those articles, GMO, no compromise policies, what steps do all the products take to come in. Anyway, that's not my piece. I'm not going to go in there. But I could go into how to say all the illnesses and diseases. I could go into that for a long time. But you are all business owners, so you are all going to find that information yourself. Do we agree? And I guarantee you the ones who really do take this stance are the ones who are going to go further in this business because you will only attract the sort of leader that you are ready for. You are not going to attract real go-getters until you really start to take this seriously. So if you are going to skip over compliance, don't expect a superstar to show up in your business because they won't. And I know that for a fact. So take the responsibility, do the work that some people aren't willing to do and get solid on this so that you can be telling the world that you are responsible enough to attract the big players into your team that some of you are looking for, some of you aren't, whatever. So when it comes to product claims, I haven't looked at these slides, so I'm just going to... I can talk about compliance at the top of my head. I'm not a slides gal. I want you all to, and yeah, you can have a look over this, but I hope I'm helping a little bit more than what we need slides for. But it's really a matter of, and just to make it really simple, it's not about saying do and don't. It's about the one understanding that the products are fabulous, but it's food. And to just keep it cool when you're talking about it and let the results speak for themselves. The most important thing when you're sharing a product story is to keep it in context. And this is something a lot of people don't know, is that you can't actually say, I lost 10 kilos in 30 days, and that's it. That's not compliant. There's no context at all. Some people say, I lost 10 kilos on isogenics and I didn't move my butt at all. And they think that that's so powerful. It's like, it's not really compliant. We've got to put everything into context, right? So everything has to come with context. Like you said, like you saw at the beginning when I shared my income claim. I talked about how hard I worked. I spoke about what it took in terms of sharing the product. Everything has to be in context because it's a food. We don't need to tell any crazy inflated stories like Jillian said. We don't need to. So if you are sharing your weight loss claim, and again, if you're not sure, go on to Isogenics Compliance or send it off to compliance@isogenicscorp.com. Send it off and say, hey, can you just give me some guidance with this post? Because once you've got it checked off once, you'll be pretty cool to just know what to do. You just understand. So don't freak out about it, but just make sure that if you ever are unsure, that you find out. So if you're going to post, I lost 10 kilos in 30 days. I lost 10 kilos you could even say, I lost 10 kilos, if you were going to say in 30 days, through exercising, through healthy eating, through nourishing my body, and through implementing a new nutritional program. It's always got to be in context. But I actually think it's even better to just drop the time frame. It's just safer and say, hey, I lost 10 kilos through healthy eating, exercise, through changing my mindset. So everything's in context. Do you think that would have more power when you were sharing it than for you to just make it sound like Isogenics is a miracle pill? Because we know how great Isogenics is. I think every single person in the whole world needs it in their body. But I also know that it sounds kooky if we say it's a miracle pill because there's not one of those in the world. What we have is a system. So to keep it safe, remember that if you can play it over or play it under, play it under. Let your photos do the talking. Let your energy do the talking. Let the tools do the talking for you. Is this making sense? So everything in context. And when you're sharing someone else's story as well, share it in context. Hey, I've got a picture of someone who had great results when they first started Isogenics. They released, I like to say released because it means not coming back. They released 25 pounds, and they implemented the program. They started exercising a little bit more. If you have people who aren't exercising a little bit more, you're obviously not going to lie about it, right? But just keep everything in context. That's if you have someone who did actually not move and use the products, do you think you're going to go and share that story on Facebook? This person just put the products in their mouth and sat on the lounge for 10 days. Who wants to join? Is that compliant? Are we starting to understand what compliance is? Is anybody still a little bit unsure? It's just keeping it real and realizing that the power comes in just keeping it real and underplaying it and just keeping it cool and letting the products speak for themselves, because they will. And that's going to protect you. And it's also going to make the people in your network trust you more on Facebook. Does it make sense? Does it really make sense? Because this is what happens in compliance. I was seeing the audience, and then afterwards I get 45 Facebook messages. Does it really make sense? Are we good? And do we know where to go if ever you are unsure? The bottom line of this, guys, in terms of product claims, like I said, keep it real. Let the products do the talking through your pictures and put everything into context. I worked out, I ate healthy, and I implemented this new system. Cool? Awesome. So in terms of, making comparisons is another one that's up there. That's important. How often do you see in the groups people say, what's the difference between Isogenic shakes and Herbalife shakes? Or Isogenic shakes and Your Health shakes? We don't need to make a comparison. We just don't have time for that. Why do we need to make a comparison? We are, and I always say this, offense is better than defense. I always say that. It's because it is. People think they need to spend all their time, comparing. Let the other shakes be their other shakes. They're great for people who have those shakes. We don't need to be like trying to win the competition. We are just celebrating what we have. Right? So don't think that you need to go and get into wars with these other shakes. It doesn't matter. Those shakes serve those people. Great. Let me show you how this shake serves our people and can serve you. Great. Cool? So it's keeping it just real. Playing it cool. Like the underdog who plays everything really cool and they're just the winner. Everyone knows they're the winner, but they keep everything really cool. That's us. Okay? Keep everything cool, real. And you're in Montana, you don't have a problem with that, but you know what I mean, just real. So context, real, let the products do the talking. If ever in doubt, email compliance. And what else was I going to say? Well, that'll do for that. So income claims. Again, like I said at the beginning, not everybody is going to have the same results. So again, just be real with it. So, I know there are stories of people who've earned 6 figures, who've worked their business, again, use the language, who've worked so hard in their Isogenics business that they now earn a 6-figure income. Not everyone can, but everyone has the same opportunity to do that if they're willing to work hard. It's real. It's truthful. Rather than 6 figures in 6 months, everybody can do it. Who wants to do it, right? It's like, it's a scam. It sounds scammy. What we have is not scammy. What we have is so real and so exciting and so powerful and so available to everyone. So we need to remember that our power does come in celebrating how real that is and just being honest with everyone about it. You don't have to go out and make these crazy things. So remember, just everything in context in terms of the income claims. And like I said, disclose that not everyone will achieve the same results. Not everybody will. Not everybody will. Would you agree? But would you agree that everybody can? So does that make sense with the income claims? You cannot post checks on Facebook. We all see it, don't we? Every time I see it, it's like, you don't need to post your income. Isogenics just loaded $4,550 into my ISA wallet. That's not something that you post on social media. And here's the thing that you need to get to. Your Facebook groups are public. They might be private and closed to you, but they are public. You have no idea how many people will sneak in there. We have had people in Perth, they do it all the time, they sneak in there. They're just little troublemakers. But You got to keep it the standard high in your Facebook groups too. So if anybody posts in our groups anything, they have even the name of an illness, it gets deleted because it's not for that. We'll send them a private message. Hey, if you have a question about a medical illness, you need to go to your doctor. Or if you have a question about something like that, isagenixhealth.net is here. But we just don't need that sort of stuff. We want to keep it as real as we can. So I need all of you in your Facebook groups too to remember that the Facebook groups are not private. What we do in our Facebook groups is what you're going to do everywhere else. So don't be like, okay, I get it. I'm not going to post my income claims on my wall, but I'm going to post them everywhere in my Facebook group, tell everyone what I earn. We've got to remember that Facebook groups are really, really important as well. Right? We know that some stuff's been going down with other companies recently. It's scary. It's sad. It really is. And it could all be avoided. And with our company, we're so lucky that we value this so much and that we have associates who care about it so much. So we have to remember that. If you think that people can't see, that's where we've got to be the most strong. And it also goes for when you're talking in the hallways. Some people say, but I'm talking in the hallways. Like I remember one time I had product B do something for me in my hair, which is not compliant. Yeah, and I remember walking with someone in the car park, in my house, in my undercover car park, and I wanted to tell them what had happened, and I just wouldn't. I couldn't let it out because I was like, this is not a compliant claim, and I know we're just here, and I know one's not around, but I'm just not going to get in that habit. It's like just making it a part of you. Just keep it real. You know what? Just keep it real. I love Product B. It makes you feel awesome. Let everything else do the talking for you. You want to know more? Call Ice Movie. I just want to burst out everything that Product B does for me. I just want to burst it out and sing it out, but do I need to? Are we getting it? So in regards to the income claims, be accurate and not misleading. Be careful using lifestyle claims. Always place the claim in context. So I like to say things like, and for instance, I did a post the other day and I had someone come to me and it made me really happy. I did a post and it was all in context. I wasn't talking about network marketing or about Isagenix. I was talking about my entrepreneurial journey as a whole. And I said something like, I now earn, I talk about my jobs that I always did, and I said now working from home in my entrepreneurial missions, I earn over $500 an hour. And I was talking about everything. But I realized that a huge part of my audience was Isagenix, and they were seeing that, and they were thinking, oh my gosh, she's making an income claim about Isagenix. And it really made me think, oh my gosh, I have to be the example. So I went back in and I replied to this girl, because she said to me, and I'm so grateful she did, hey, Peter, look, I'm really confused. I know that you do things outside of Isagenix too, and I know you didn't mention Isagenix or network marketing in your post, but I'm confused. Like, when you said $500 an hour, I know it was in context and everything, but she's like, so could I say that? And could it, and I just thought, regardless of the fact that I'm in a different situation or whatever, people are watching, especially this compliance message. So I went back in there and I actually edited it. Not because I needed to, because mine was in context and everything, but just because I didn't want to confuse people in Isagenix. And I changed it to say, I now earn more in an hour than more in an hour than I ever could have imagined due to my hard effort in entrepreneurship. People get the picture of how different my life is now, right? But I wasn't making any direct claims and it was all in context. Does this sound confusing or does it sound pretty clear? And it's just about playing with the words. And even me, like now, although I was in the safe zone, I realized that I didn't want to confuse people by throwing it out there. So I just went and edited it and made it all sweet. You can go back and have a look at the post if you want to see what I mean. So, does anyone have any questions about compliance before I go on really quickly? Is everyone all good? Does it help a little bit? I want you to remember too, the most powerful thing you can post is just realness. Like, I have so much more energy now. I'm just so grateful. That's all you need to say. Or I just feel like $1 million. Those little short, sharp things are so powerful. And then when they say how, here's a tool. It's just easier. Because we know on Facebook, because we all have so many Isagenix people on our Facebook, sometimes it's like, it does feel like people are drinking Kool-Aid a little bit. But the most powerful posts you see are just like a happy smile or the body. And it's like, so grateful I found a system to complement my life or something like that. Or just a before and after picture and just something really short and simple. Or if it's to do with income, I'm so glad I'm not stressing about those bills anymore. It's still sharing the power, but you're not making these crazy claims that are out of context. It's keeping you safe. It's making you look a lot more powerful and real than when you're making these crazy claims. It's keeping the company safe. And it's a lot more intriguing for the people on your Facebook. Let me tell you that. So we need to remember to be solid with this at our launch parties, at our opportunity presentations, on our online webinars, just in our conversations in the hallway, and just at all times. And it's so empowering and it's so liberating because it's almost like you're that cool person. He's like, yeah, I just feel awesome. Yeah, okay, well, cool. I don't stress about my bills anymore. You know, it's awesome. Do you know what I mean? It's just compliance is exciting because we don't have to be crazy and say all this crazy stuff. And there's just so much power in that. I hope you really, really get that. Does it make sense? Did it help? Compliance is one of those things when you're talking to people in the audience and they're just like they get it, but so just, do you really get it? Okay, cool. So I just want to touch on one team really quickly and why that's so important. Some of you are at Celebration, some of you won't. I know Montana is so great at this. But the thing about one team is, and why we're so grateful to have a company like this, you know, so many people join our company because of the fact that we collaborate and work together. Do you realize that? So many companies out there, some do, which is great, some don't. The downlines in some companies aren't even allowed to communicate. You know how weird that is for us? And as we grow and as we grow and as we grow, there's a few things that I love about one team. Actually, I could go on forever and ever. Number one is leverage. Like having events like this. And in Montana, I imagine you had a Bozeman Wellness Wednesday. I'm not sure what you have going on there, but it's leverage. It's leveraging other people's strengths and other people to present in front of your people. So one thing that's huge about unity and collaboration, and I know you already get it, but I was asked to touch on this, is leverage, right? I know people in Perth, they got sick of hearing me. They really did. Thank God I had so many other people who were willing to collaborate and come together. So it's time leverage. The second thing is international expansion. How many of you would love to have an international team? Australia, New Zealand, Asia, when we're going to Europe, all those places. But imagine that you had to do all the work for your downline and that you could not plug into anyone else's stuff. Exhausting. So we need to remember, again, just like compliance, one team is our responsibility. Like I had someone who lives in Brisbane and he's here and I could just tell him, we've got so many opportunity meetings and everything going on in Brisbane, just go along to one. They're all open. Just go along. But I also want to differentiate this for you. This does not mean that if you're going to have a private launch party for your people that you need to invite everybody. You're allowed to have private launch parties. This is just common sense, right? This is not rules. It's just common sense. It's inviting you to collaborate, but making sure you know that you're still in control of your business and you don't have to have 45 strangers in your lounge room. That's not what this is about. You do your thing to build your business. This is about the bigger picture. Is that clear? I don't want people to think that there's rules or anything and you have to do all this stuff. The biggest thing for one team is having each other's back. That's the most important thing about one team. It's having each other's back as we grow. It's singing the same song. It's meaning that everybody, regardless of their upline, feels like they have a team. And then there's no ISA orphans out there who don't have someone to plug into. No, but seriously, because some people don't have an upline, and the fact that everybody sings the same song and uses the same systems and plugs into the same events, it means it doesn't matter where anybody is placed. They all have access to the same stuff. Is that good? Could you imagine if the next Lynn Hagedorn was sponsored by someone who used the products and doesn't use them anymore and is just in no man's land over here? And no one reached down and said, just should come in. That's the sort of environment that's so important. That's why one team's so important. And I know that you really get that in Montana. So I want you to know that there's no, oh my gosh, I need to build everyone's team to be one team. No, you build your business. You go for it and you earn the money and you go there. But remember that there is so much power in collaboration. And when we are singing the isogenic song and when we are thinking of having each other's back and being responsible, it is because we are one team and that what we do affects all of us. So I hope that's really clear. And you all can feel like you can have a little breath out, that you have over 550,000 people on your team all around the world that are all have your back and are all ready to just help you, support you, and help you go to the next level. So